What's up, everybody? This is Missy with Lansing Hoops, and today I'm back with another Teacher Tip Tuesday. Today I'm going to share a really simple idea that I use to balance my work schedule and to make sure that I always get the most important things done. I refer to this simple idea as the 3 things technique. This technique is super simple, and I think you'll like it because it cuts out a lot of your extra work, makes it easier for you and your students to focus. It's simple. You only do the 3 most important things that you have to do that day for that class and nothing else. Movement instructors, especially flow instructors, offer classes where they're promising to teach their students 9, 10, or 15 tricks or more in one 1-hour class. Oftentimes, taking any less than 5 or 6 minutes to teach a new technique isn't long enough for a new student to grasp what you've just learned, retain it, and do it again in the future. So trying to push and cram too many tricks into one class is doing your students a disservice. So how do you know how much is too much and how much should you be teaching? I follow the 3 things idea. What I do is look at what concept I'm trying to teach for my student that day. I've already taken the time to break down the class and the lesson plan, so I probably already know the broad concept that I'm teaching. What I do is pick 3 techniques or 3 tricks only that I am going to share with the class that day. Write those techniques down, and then I decide what exercises and what drills we're going to do to go along with those in order to help the students remember and understand. Now, this is where a lot of teachers start to get freaked out and start thinking that students will get bored, or that they might have a multi-skill level class and there will be people who don't know what they're teaching or aren't advanced enough to do it, or a whole other group of people who are beginners and can't grasp it at all. And this range of beginners to advanced students throws hoop teachers off to the point where they feel like they need to offer 10 to 15 tricks in one class just to make sure that they have enough variety to keep all of their students interested. And what I suggest that you do instead is to decide on the general category of the class that you're going to teach, and then pick 3 concepts underneath that umbrella category that you can break down with variations. That way, if you have a different range of students, whether in age or skill level, you can still be teaching the same technique to everyone, but allow for variation that keeps everyone interested and engaged at their appropriate level. As an example of this, let's say that I am teaching a hoop class. Now, in this hoop class, let's say I've offered this up as an advanced on-body core class. And the 3 most important techniques that I've decided that I'm going to teach are knee hooping, nose hooping, and ankle hooping. First, you might think, how am I going to teach for an entire hour and only teach ankles, nose, and knees? That doesn't seem like nearly enough material. But when you break it down, there's always so much that you can teach within an individual technique that it's okay to narrow down. Having narrowed down to just those 3 core techniques allows me time to do a proper warm-up, and then I introduce the concept of advanced on-body core hooping, and I tell them what we're going to cover: knees, nose, and ankles. And then I go from there explaining my overall general idea of how they're going to go about this technique, and then I break it down. Now, let's say I have some students who have never done knee hooping before. They're total beginners. And then other students who can already knee hoop. This is where a lot of teachers start thinking they need to be having already offered or ready to do a bunch of other tricks because their students are going to get bored. I would challenge those instructors, rather than adding more material, to go deeper on the material that they've already offered. In this case, let's say they have 5 students and a few of them can't knee hoop at all, and some of them are really good at it. What they would do then is explain the broad concept of knee hooping and how it needs to be done, and they would expect those advanced hoopers to just wait and listen, because everyone can learn from a new explanation, whether you're a beginner or advanced, and it's only going to take a minute or two. Then you let the beginners get started on that technique, and you turn to the advanced hoopers and you say, okay, let me see your knee hooping technique right now. As they show it to you, you see whether or not they can actually do that. And the first challenge is to have them go in the opposite current. See if they can do it as well on the opposite side or opposite direction as they can do on their first side. If they can't, the challenge is done right there because you have them practice opposite current until they are equally as confident on both sides. Now, if they can already do it in both directions, this is where you start to add the variation. So even though you only said that you were working on these core techniques, there's still much more that you can offer between those techniques once you get the students in the class and you know what their skill levels are. When you offer fewer techniques and you go deep with students, it allows them to truly grasp the techniques that you're offering and what you want them to understand and retain the concepts for the future. When you offer lots and lots of different ideas in a short period of time, students become overwhelmed and they start to give up. Even if they can grasp the technique right then in that moment, it's very difficult for them to remember. And if they do remember, it's often done incorrectly. So, to help your students retain for the future and ensure continued success and proper technique, offer less and go deep rather than offering more and being shallow. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments and make sure you subscribe to Lansing Hoops today. If you'd like more teacher tips delivered straight to your inbox, sign up for my newsletter at lansinghoops.com. See you next time.